Yeah, Catholic Charities of Charlotte is one of two agencies here in North Carolina that resettle refugees, and they say usually the process takes years, but for the Afghan refugees, we're talking about weeks, not years, which is a challenge, especially here in Charlotte, finding homes for all those refugees, when housing is already in short supply and prices are already sky high. We all saw the chaos in Kabul, refugees running and hanging on tight to a military flight, taking off without them, and the frightened, frantic scene outside the airport.
And people kept pushing to get closer to the gate. And by the time I reached to the U.S. forces, I kept asking them that I'm gonna die here. I saw kids, I saw women who were stamped. People who run them over, and I don't know if they're alive or not.
They're desperate to escape Afghanistan, not because they want to, but because they have to. They're refugees because they don't have a choice.
Correct.
Yeah, and
most refugees are refugees because they don't have a choice. They don't want to leave their home country, but circumstances beyond their control make it impossible for them to stay.
But Sandy Buck, who oversees the resettlement of refugees for Catholic Charities in Charlotte, says they're desperate too.
Housing. We are desperate right now for housing. So we're talking about 1,000 souls coming into the city of Charlotte over the course of the next 1 month to 12 months.
Not just Afghan refugees, but hundreds coming from other countries too, all seeking here in Charlotte what we all want, mostly just a safe place to live.
And housing is scarce right now. These folks have already been through so much. We want them to be able to settle in. We really need to get behind the housing issue first. The rest we can worry about later, but we really need the housing.
By the way, which one is yours? Which apartment? That's what Media Tree Suimana has now, an apartment on the east side that Catholic Charities found for her, plus a good job to support her young son, and a future she never had as a refugee from Rwanda, living in a tent after escaping war in the Congo. What was it like coming to Charlotte after leaving Rwanda? I mean, it must have just been...
It was like amazing. It was amazing. I've been never dreamed that dream, because you know, when you are in bad condition, you cannot get hydrated.
Why did you want to leave Cuba?
La primera,
quisiste ir de Cuba?
siempre quise encontrar a mi papá.
The first is she wanted to find his father.
Catholic Charities also helped Cuban refugee Lazaro Izquierdo reunite with his father in Monroe, 22 years after Dad left Cuba by boat, when the younger Izquierdo was just a child. Now he has a wife and a child of his own.
Ya que a todo el mundo no le dan la oportunidad que venga.
You know, not everybody gets the opportunity to bring your child with you.
They think that I'm a translator, but in reality my wife is living in the US.
But while many of these refugees from Afghanistan already speak English and have job skills from working with the US military, what they don't have in Charlotte yet is a place to live.
Typically, in the past, we've had a set of landlords that we've always rented from that we could just call them up and say, hey, we've got an arrival in 2 weeks. Do you have a unit? And they turn over the keys. We set up the apartment so that it's ready and waiting when the family gets off the plane. They're just not out there.
Buck adds what is out there now is a lot more expensive too. It's the same affordable housing crunch that everybody in Charlotte is facing. Only it's worse for the refugees who arrive without social security numbers or credit histories that many apartments require.
We're not experts at housing, we're not realtors, and we really need somebody who has that expertise to come forward and say, I know how you can find these units. We're good renters. Our folks pay the rent, and we are supporting them with case management and employment so that they have a really good chance of being self-sufficient very quickly after they arrive.
Catholic Charities is also reaching out to North Carolina-based veterans groups, with ex-military members offering to help the Afghan refugees who helped them so much during the war in Afghanistan that forced the refugees to flee.
We're working with Veterans Bridge Home, and they are galvanizing the support of various veterans groups across the state to try to pull together and assist us in this process in whatever way they can. We're responding to our biblical call to welcome the stranger, so for us it's a privilege to help safely resettle these vulnerable refugees, but we do need the community's support to help us.
Yeah, and Buck adds that for those Afghans who did get out of the country and are now waiting for that final move from a U.S. military base to Charlotte or some other city, well, agencies like Catholic Charities only get between 24 and 48 hours notice ahead of time, which isn't a lot of time to set up a new house, a new job, maybe school for the kids, an entire new life, really. But at least that new life will be a safer life.
We hope you enjoyed the story. If you don't want to miss any more great stories about the Charlotte region, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.